Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elma and today I'm going to be going through a Game Week 13 wildcard draft. Looking to help some of you guys who are using the wildcard out there. So before I start, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so that you don't miss any content going live on the channel. And also if you are enjoying the videos, make sure you leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel. So for the wildcard for Game Week 13, you're mostly going to be looking for players who can cover you from Game Week 13 to Game Week 16 before we break for the World Cup. So I think that is something you should consider so that you can be able to build a very strong team for those 4 game weeks. So without wasting any much time, let's start off with the team. So first I'm going to start off with the goalkeepers and defenders. So in goal, I've decided to go with Raya there, 4.5 million. He's been performing really well, making a lot of saves, getting a lot of clean sheet points as well for Brentford, who have been really good defensively. In their next 4 fixtures, they play Villa, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, maybe a tricky fixture in Game Week 16 where you can move him on to a different keeper where they play City, but the likes of Villa, Wolves, and Nottingham Forest don't score a lot of goals. They're not that threatening, so I think I would put Raya in there. And then Ward is just a bench enabler, really. He also plays here and there, but I think you're better off just starting Raya, and in Game Week 16 you can maybe switch him over to another keeper with an easier fixture. Then we have Trippier in defense there at 5.7 million. For Newcastle, they play Spurs, Villa, Southampton, Chelsea in their next 4, which is also not a really difficult run of games because Newcastle are looking really good defensively. They're looking very solid as a whole team. So I think is also a very good option to have in there. Then we have Cancelo, 7.3 million. Man City are going to have a run of very easy fixtures before the World Cup with Brighton, Leicester, Fulham, and Brentford. So I think Cancelo is also a no-brainer, and it's someone you should be looking to bring into the team. Then you have Zuma for West Ham. West Ham have also been looking really good defensively. I know they conceded a goal today to Liverpool, but Liverpool also played really well, and West Ham were able to restrict them from scoring any other goals. And West Ham also play Bournemouth, United, Palace, Leicester. So Zuma is good for some of the fixtures and can also be rotated in because it's a very cheap option. Then we have a differential pick in there with Doherty from Spurs. I know Emerson Royal might be back for the next fixture, so you might be one to keep your eye on. Maybe you can switch him over to someone from Crystal Palace, the likes of Michel, Gehi, and Anderson from Crystal Palace there. So Palace are not looking very good defensively, but they're also very good options if you're not so sure on Doherty. But for now, I've gone for him. Then you have Ben White. The likes of Saliba and Gabriel, I think, are a little bit expensive. And for someone like Ben White, who's 4.5 million, they offer the same thing. I know maybe Saliba and Gabriel offer something different from corners, but if they don't score from corners, they just give you clean sheet points, which I think Ben White can also produce the same for 0.6 million cheaper. And then for a different consideration there, if you want, you could go for Trent, who also looks like he's picking up some form before the World Cup. So I think he's also a very good consideration to look at. And then we can move on to the midfielders. So I decided to go for Martinelli and Saka, the two Arsenal boys. I think Arsenal really have a good run of fixtures before the World Cup where they play Southampton, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea maybe might be a little bit tricky, and Wolves there. So I think it's a very good run of fixtures, and it's worth taking a punt on the Arsenal boys. They've been performing really well, and I think it's the right time to bring them in, especially Saka, who's on penalties as well. and now he's playing more attacking than the start of the season, where he was playing a little bit defensively, trying to help out Ben White. But now you can see he's always on the attack and trying to beat his man, which I think is a really positive for people who want to buy him this game week. Then you have Pereira there, 4.6 million. Really just a bench enabler in the midfield, the cheapest among the cheapest playing midfielders who can at least give you an attacking return. So I think he's a very good option for 4.6 million. Then you have Mo Salah there, 12.7 million. I know he did not have his best game today when they played West Ham, so I think you can be able to go for him, since they have relatively easy fixtures until the World Cup, where they play Nottingham, Leeds, Spurs, and Southampton, which I'm sure he's going to be involved in those games, especially the Nottingham game, where they looked a little bit shaky against Brighton in defense. So I hope that Salah can be able to capitalize in that. And then lastly, for the midfield, you can go for Phil Foden. He's been performing really, really well. And Man City also have relatively easy fixtures, where they're going to be playing Brighton, Leicester, Fulham, Brentford. You expect Foden to be in around the team, scoring goals, and also trying to help in providing assists, especially to Haaland, since it looks like they play up top together. So I think Foden is also a really good option. And for another consideration, you can look at midfield is Almiron. He's been on fire. He's been on form. He's been scoring goals for fun. He also scored a game. He also scored a goal today against Everton. So I think he's also a very good option and someone you might be looking to bring in at his price of 5.3 million. Then to finish off the team, I'm going for the forwards, where you can have Alton Edward from Crystal Palace. I know he's a really good, he's a very odd option, but I think he's the cheapest playing striker in the game right now. In his last 4 games, he has 2 goals and an assist, which I think is really good for him. So I think he's a very good option at 5.3 million. And Crystal Palace have easy fixtures: Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Nottingham. So why not take a punt and just go for him? You can just leave him on the bench, and he can be able to come in and offer some cover when one of your players does not play in the team. Then obviously, yeah, you cannot have a team without Haaland in there. I know he did not perform well against Liverpool. Liverpool were really tight on him, but he had some few chances here and there. So I think Haaland is a very good option, as I mentioned, for Foden. They have really easy fixtures, so I think Haaland is a must-have. Then you have Ivan Toney to complete the team. I think Toney has been really good. He's been scoring a lot. He's so good, especially in penalties, where Brentford look like they're getting penalties a lot. I think Ivan Toney is a good option to have, especially with their fixtures that they have. Villa, Wolves, Nottingham, and City, who are not really good defensively, and Toney can be able to exploit that. And I hope that he will do. Then another consideration you could look at is Mitrovic. Also has a relatively easier fixtures: Leeds, Everton, City, United. But you can always rely on Mitrovic to be able to score against the likes of City and United. So I think it's also a very good option if you want him. And so that is the team. It looks very solid, and I think with this team you'll still have around. It's not an expensive team. I think most of you can be able to afford it, and still remain with some money in the bank to be used on later days. So I think that is a very good team. So I'm going to show you how to line up in Game Week 13. So this is the best way to line up for Game Week 13. Just going to go through it very quickly. We have Raya in goal. Then to the defenders, we're going to have Trippier, Cancelo, White, Doherty. That is a pretty solid defense. Then you have Martinelli, Saka, Salah, Foden in the midfield. I think that is a very solid midfield for Game Week 13. And then for the forwards, we have Haaland, who's going to be a captain against Brighton. And then Ivan Toney against Villa as well. Then the bench, you have Ward, Zuma, Edward, Pereira, who are just going to give you cover, and also their cheap options, which enables you to spend more in your starting 11. So I think that is a very solid team that will carry you until game week 16, and you're able to make some changes here and there if required, and with injuries, suspensions, and things like that. So I hope that all of you have been able to pick up a few things here and there. If you have made this far to the video, make sure you drop a like. And with that, I'd like to thank you all guys for watching, and bye bye.